Our word of the week this week is whenever, and the Greek word for that is hotan. So it comes from hoti, that, because, or when we don't translate it, it introduces a quotation, and the particle on that introduces uncertainty or undefiniteness. So if we think about that and uncertainty, if that answers the question what or when, that plus on, hoti on, turns into whatever, whenever, right? So not specific, at some point, generally, hotan, whenever. Interestingly enough, if we go back and look at the Homeric epics in the classical period, it was two words, hoti and on, and when used together, Homer used them as hotan, not one word but two, where the iota has elided. It's gone away because we're ending one word with a vowel and beginning the next one with a vowel, so the iota elides, it's gone. Now, by the time we get to the New Testament, this is merged into a single word, hotan, whenever. And it's got a lot of different range of usage, and we're going to take a look at several different ways that it's used. We're going to start out with plain old whenever. So at any time this happens, ... So we're going to look in Revelation chapter 4, verses 9 through 10a, the first half of verse 10. And whenever, hotan, the living creatures give glory and honor and thanks to him who is seated on the throne, who lives forever and ever, the 24 elders fall down before him who is seated on the throne and worship him who lives forever and ever. So we can look at that word, hotan, and it's talking about an occurrence that's not limited to one occurrence. It happens from time to time, and whenever it happens, in all the occasions when it happens like this. So that's our use of hotan. Whenever is also used to describe a common occurrence in the past. Like, when this happened, it happened like this. Okay? It didn't just happen once, it didn't happen on a schedule. Whenever it happened like this. Let's take a look at Mark chapter 3, verse 11. This is also from the ESV, and I've added the hotan in there. And whenever, hotan, the unclean spirits saw him, they fell down before him and cried out, "You are the Son of God." So we don't know how many times it happened. We don't know with what frequency it happened. All we know is that whenever it happened like this, right? Now we're going to look at it in the subjunctive mood. It happens two ways. It's used two different ways in the subjunctive mood. When it's used with a present tense verb in the subjunctive, the action of the subordinate clause is contemporaneous, happening at the same time with that of the main clause. Let's take a look. This is Mark 13:11. And when they bring you to trial, when here is hotan, whenever they bring you to trial and deliver you over, do not be anxious beforehand what you are to say, but say whatever is given you in that hour. For it is not you who speak, but the Holy Spirit. So you see the contemporaneous action. When they're bringing you before to trial to deliver you, at that same time, don't be anxious about what you're going to say, happening at the same time. The other usage is when the verb is in the aorist tense, a subjunctive aorist, and what we see is that the action of the subordinate clause precedes the action of the main clause in that case. And here we're looking at Matthew chapter 5, verse 11. Let's take a look. Blessed are you, so that's our main clause, blessed are you when or whenever, hotan, others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. So being reviled, etc., precedes being blessed. Blessed are you when, we could take that whenever and turn it into after they've reviled you and cursed you, etc., etc. So with the aorist, the action precedes that of the main clause. Blessed are you. When am I blessed? When I've been reviled and persecuted and had all sorts of evil uttered about me on account of Christ. There we go. So, hotan, from hoti and on, whenever. It can be whenever in a very generic sense. It can be whenever this has happened in the past, it was like this. It can be whenever, meaning contemporaneous to the main clause, or it can be preceding the main clause. It has a great deal of range. It occurs frequently in the New Testament. Utilize your computer or your concordance to dig up other examples and have fun looking at them. Here's a little hint. There's another example coming up in Koine Corner number 75, and that's about the inevitability of the second coming. So keep an eye out for a hotan when we get to episode 75. Until then, Kars Kai Reine Humin, grace and peace to you.